Hi, this is Jaydeep Sai, and the topic which I have selected for this TikTok video is mandate driven networking ecosystem, a paradigm shift in end to end communications. Abstract: the wireless industry is driven by key stakeholders that follow a holistic approach of one system fits all that leads to moving network functionality of meeting stringent end-to-end E2E communication requirements towards the core and cloud infrastructures. This trend is limiting smaller and new players for bringing in new and novel solutions. For meeting these E2E requirements, tenants and end users need to be active players for bringing their needs and innovations. So the wireless industry is driven by key stakeholders that follow holistic approach of one system fits all. So one system should fit all. This is the motivation by the stakeholders in the wireless industry that leads to moving networking functionality of meeting stringent end-to-end communication. So this has to meet stringent and strict end-to-end communication, which is also called as E2B communications, requirements towards the core and cloud infrastructures. So this communication also should have core and cloud infrastructures in it. This trend is limiting smaller and new players for bringing in new and novel solutions. So very few people have been able to bring new and novel solutions for these problems. For meeting these E2E requirements, tenants and end users need to be active players for bringing their needs and innovations. So, for the innovations to be done in this E2E requirements, the tenants and the end users which are using the communication, they have to be taking active part in that so that their needs can be known by the innovators and the new innovations can be done in this end-to-end communication field. Introduction. Let's discuss the introduction of the topic. Nowadays, network and service providers as well as telecom equivalent manufacturers are expanding their market beyond customers by targeting the professional market, especially industry, to generate new revenue flows. Key stakeholders realize this expansion using a holistic one system fits all philosophy for serving industry verticals, leading to a central core specification with a multitude of interoperable options that will survive or not on the market. So in the nowadays, network and service providers as well as telecom equipment manufacturers are expanding their market beyond customers by targeting the professional market. So the service providers and networking providers are targeting the professional market, especially the industry. Industry is a main professional market for telecom equipment usage, and for the networking, the large demand is can be seen in the industry. It is a professional market to generate new revenue flows. Key stakeholders realize this expansion using a holistic one system fits all philosophy for serving industry verticals, leading to central core specification with a multitude of interoperable options that will survive or not on the market. This is the introduction of the topic to satisfy the future demands of multiple tenants. Example, private and public service providers, as well as application developers on one side and end users, both customers and verticals on the other side, we see the need for open architecture system and solutions. The tenants and end users must become active players of this evolution to bring in their own requirements and innovations. So to satisfy the future demands of multiple tenants, For example, we have private and public service providers. Here, the private service providers are the companies, and the public service providers are the governments or NGOs, as well as application developers on one side, where the development of the network can be done. And we see the need for open architecture, system, and solutions. So, new architecture systems and solutions are to be developed by the application developers on one side. So the tenants and end users must be active players in this evolution. So the active players in this evolution should be tenants and end users so that they specify their requirements or needs so that innovations can be done and they too can also perform the innovations. Paradigm shift. Our proposed paradigm shift is driven solely by E2E. E2E means end-to-end performance between communication applications, where E2E networks and services are dynamically composed through cooperation between the most appropriate combination of network segments and network services. Additional criteria for our envisioned evolution comprises E2E system optimizations towards higher resource efficiency, in particular spectrum and energy resources, as well as higher security and improved overall cost efficiency. So the paradigm shift is our proposed paradigm shift is driven solely by E2E performance between communication applications, where E2E networks and services are dynamically composed through cooperation between the most appropriate combination of network segments and network services, and also additional criteria for our envisioned evolution comprises E2E system optimizations towards higher resource efficiency, in particular spectrum and energy resources, as well as higher security and improved overall cost efficiency. Consideration 1. So for these points to be happen, let's see the considerations we have to make that possible. The consideration 1 is current network designs fall short in considering the end devices as a full part of a network. E2E communications happen between applications or end devices or application servers. So here we can see application view here, application view is there, GNP is there, GUP is there, GDP is there. These all are linked with app which has the context in it, and HMI is a software, and here we can see a client is there. Here one person is sending message and also is receiving message, and many people are sending and receiving message. This is the architecture that is developed by application architecture developer. Now let's see the consideration two. There is a gap between applications, users, and networks they are using, preventing the sharing of information about policies, capabilities, etc. Here we can see connectivity view. Here is about the connection, how the connection is established. We can see the view of this connection connectivity here. Here we have app here, and it is a cloud. In this we have the router, and here is something machine, and here is the cables, and here is the tower, signal tower, and here again we have the app. MGMT is there, verification, feedback, mandates and negotiations, monitoring points, data, communication between end devices, considering mandate and policies, involving monitoring network configuration and verification for optimal application support. This is the one part of this image, and here this is the communication between end devices and server. So here this is the communication between the end devices. Here we have devices and here in between we have servers. And in this, we can see the direct device to device communication. This is possible by using the Wi-Fi here. Now let's consider the consideration number 3. Currently, there are no mechanisms for applications to communicate their fine grained requirements to the underlying networks, and conversely, for these networks to monitor the status health requirements of their applications in real time. Here we have the image of the infrastructure view. Here end devices are there. These are connected by using Wi-Fi's, and here we have the smartwatch, and here is the brain, and GNP is general network profile, and GUP is general user profile. Here we have the image, here signals, router, servers, network. This is the network infrastructure. We have also have satellite here, and also the dish signals here. GDP stands for general device profile. APP stands for application. HMI stands for human machine interface. XAPI stands for expressive application programming interface. Multidisciplinary research challenges. In order to release the E2E end-to-E end-to-end vision, several multidisciplinary research challenges must be addressed and are detailed in the following subsections. So we have come to the conclusion of the topic, that is the growing complexity of current and future networks call for the direct involvement of tenants and end users in the overall design of E2E, end-to-end communication, because E2E solutions driven by one specific community moving every functionality towards cloud infrastructures, when actually many decisions can be taken locally, limit overall system efficiency and slow down the introduction of innovations by small players. Based on this analysis and observation, we propose to broaden research and innovation from the current telecom-centric view with limited actors to a E2E mandate and purpose-driven view steered by the needs of professional markets, also targeting private networks involving multiple actors and academia. This is the conclusion of the topic, and I thank the faculty and college for providing me this opportunity to speak on the topic. Thank you, Jai Hind.